down in the den. So go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.
Welcome back to another episode of Down in the Den. It's your host, Mars, a.k.a. Marlon Beardo, the Bearded Weirdo, the Stellar Casanova, and the creator of culture. And we are back with another fantastic guest for another fantastic episode. So I thank you all for tuning in. If you're listening in podcast land, thank you for listening. So with introducing, she preaches the good word. Her ministry is amazing. Her music is amazing. She's multifaceted, multi-talented. Let me give the respect that is due to the amazing Dr. Alecia Garrick. Doctor, how are you doing this?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much, Brother Sean, if I could call you that.
You can call me Sean. You can call me whatever you want. I'm just humbled to be in the presence, so you can call me whatever you want. Yes, absolutely. I definitely go by the government. Absolutely.
The government.
You gotta go by the government sometimes.
I know, right? That's why I got my name up there. Like no title, just Alecia Garrick.
Just Alecia. Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for once again joining us. You know, the Den is a community, and we're more than just about music entertainment. It's about highlighting, giving gems to the upcoming creators out there, and just sharing a good word. So I appreciate you coming in this morning. Your coffee looks delicious. It
is. I'm on this Rise coffee, so it can give me some energy.
I need to get that in my life.
Yeah, you got to get this in your life. RYZE mushroom coffee. You got to try it. I promise you it will inspire your life.
That's good enough for me. I'm on it. Rise, ladies and gentlemen, please get your time. So we begin every single episode with the same exact question.
Okay.
I grew up loving two things: music and comic books. And with comic books, every hero had an origin story. It was something that triggered in their life. Sometimes it was a tragic event, sometimes it was science, whatever it may be, but it was something that triggered them and something that said, okay, this is going to be the path that I follow. So I ask you, what is your origin story? What made you say, you know what, I'm gonna do music. I'm gonna minister the good word. What was your origin story?
So watching my dad sing, he sings quartet. Been singing all my life. I'm not gonna say my age, but anywho, I can until I'm 55. But I'm 54 years old, so he's been singing. I want to say like 48, 49 years or so. In a quartet group. So that's where I got my inspiration from to sing, right? But to preach was my mom. My mom was an evangelist around the era when women was not heard of. To speak, they had to speak in front of the podium. They really couldn't stand in the pulpit. So, couldn't stand behind the sacred desk. So, those are the two for me, the preach word and the word in song. Now I love to sing. I love all genres of music. I'm not a particular to one type. So just because I sing gospel and that's my choice, but I still listen to other music, jazz, R&B, because you still can love Jesus and love R&B music. So you have to be, hip hop, I'm just a classical, opera. I just love music.
I love it all. And I tell people when sometimes people get so holier than thou, they're like, oh, I can't listen to secular music. And I tell people, what source do you think it came from?
So that's a whole nother topic. But since you actually opened the door to it,
open it up. Let's
walk through it. Of course, God is the creator, right? He's the creative source. He's where we get our inspiration from. Sometimes we can use inspiration that we have been through as a testament, right? things that we lived through, things that we've seen. It's our prophetic eye. I like Kendrick Lamar and the way he puts his words into a song, because it lets you know that words can be life changing, right? But also words can describe. You see what I'm saying? So what are you listening for, and what are you listening to? So, I feel like we kind of over spiritualize a lot of music. Um, and that's one reason why, I'm a different type of pastor. My pulpit is different. I did the church, I did the pulpit, I did the building. But when God began to call me mobile, he called me outside of the four walls into the four corners. So I had to be sensitive to that area. Now, I really didn't understand it, but I found my niche. I found the people that were looking for me. You see what I'm saying? Like they were searching. They were looking for something, someone to encourage them. And I'm just glad to be available now. You know what I'm saying? With no stigma, no, tradition, no, it's just a whole different ballgame, whole different world for me.
Absolutely. And that freedom to express and share that
Yes,
story. I tell people you have to get outside the walls.
you
If,
have to.
if you're just isolated, how are you learning anything? If it's the same thing, you don't stay at elementary school to college. You don't stay in one building. You get
Yeah,
out.
because what happens when revelation, you might be receiving the revelation, right?
Mm,
That you're receiving in service. But what happens when revelation becomes application?
mm. That,
When are you going to apply what you learn? Clock that. Yeah. When are you
that,
going to be applying these things? We go out and say, make fishermen of men, but are you fishing?
are you fishing? Oh my God. There's sound bites that are going through my head right now. Or we'll go ahead and tell you through that's a word. That's a bar.
Thank you, Brother Sean.
Of
Thank you.
course, of course, of course. Now, let's talk about a little bit about some of your music. I would,
Okay.
when we put the interview, I always like to do as much research as I possibly can, and just
Okay. Good.
and really learn the artist, because we're very selective of who
Hmm.
we invite in this to community. And I was listening to Tried in the Fire. And
Yeah.
it sounds like when you think about it, sounds like a powerful metaphorical title. But what's the story behind the song? Because I think
Ooh.
every song has a story that's underlining the lyrics. So what's the story behind the song, and what message are you hoping the listeners will take away?
So I mean, I don't even know where to start, but I'm glad you opened up. And speaking of the den, down in the den,
Yes.
we're not just talking about Daniel in the lion's den, but we're talking about the den of our affliction, the den of our adversity. So this song actually was written about 11 years ago.
Mm,
And I did it at my previous church that I was at, Harvest Outreach Center Church, before I changed the name to Kingdom Harvest. So I did a rebirth concert thinking I was going to relaunch singing. I did an EP type, songs or whatever, but I never got around to it because pastoring kept me like on my face,
right.
for people laboring. And it always, I always found a way not to do it. So my songs became messages, right? And then it had to become from messages to songs. So when I wrote Tried in the Fire 11 years ago, of course, I went through my own furnace, right? My own type of adversity that I was experienced as a female leader. So, being a mom, trying to navigate between being a mom, being a grandmom, being married, you know what I'm saying? I just had a lot of things that I was trying to go in, trying to put my hand and, to the as we say, put my hand to the grind, right? So I was in a lot of things. So I was tried in those areas. But once I came to the realization that everybody that you lead does not follow.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. So everybody that you think you're leading as a pastor, sometimes those are people that don't want to follow you. They want to follow who you know.
Yes.
They want to be connected to who you know. They want to figure out why you are great, so they connect themselves to these people, and then and then X you out of the equation. You ever been in a situation where your best friend was introduced to somebody by you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you introduced them, your best friend, your best friend now, right? You had a friend to come in. You introduce your friend to your best friend, right? Only to get them in cahoots to begin to talk more about the common denominator, which is you,
Right.
right? And then after a while, they boot you out.
Yeah, that's right out.
X right out the equation, like you'd never existed. Oh, you the bad person. But long story short, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have met.
Yeah.
So that's just the story of life, being tried by relationships, friendships, situationships, dead ships, fellowships. The ship has sailed. So you have to know, you have to know when to, put the what you call the thing when you're sailing, the flag. I don't know.
Your
Huh?
flag, your sail, your
Yeah, you got to know when to put it up and when to bring it down.
anchor.
Because sometimes you can be drifting and don't even know it.
Absolutely. And having that anchor is key. We having church this morning.
Yeah, I was about to say in a subtle way. See, this is my type of carrying on. This is my type of carrying on.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes. So it's like I said, I just have a long, I can go on all day about this particular song. Tried in the fire. Tried, if they haven't downloaded, I want you to add this into your library because trust me, there will be mornings that you will be tried. When you get up in the morning, this needs to be your first song. At lunchtime, when your coworker done got to your last nerve, you need to go and put this in. You you know what I'm saying? We don't have CDs no more in the track or whatever, but hey, you need to bring it up on your phone, iTunes, whatever. Let it be the last part of your day because you need to understand that you will be tried. Tried in the fire of adversity or any type of complexity.
Every day you'll try it and having those messages,
Yeah.
I tell people you don't realize how important ministry through music is and how many lives, literal lives, not figuratively, literal lives it has saved, that right lyric at the right time. And it's the God channeling through, whatever perfect creations, imperfect, perfect creations is what I call
that. And it's funny that you say that because my saying is imperfect people serving a perfect God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at every disciple, you look at, some of these weren't the greatest of people, but he can use it.
Can I also add something else?
Absolutely.
Brother Sean, I'm his perfect imperfection.
Perfect imperfection. Absolutely. I don't need an F1 diamond. I just need a diamond. And you don't have to be flawless.
In the rough.
We all gonna shine. Absolutely. You're from the Bible Belt. I'm from the Bible Belt as well. And people from the Bible Belt don't realize how different it is versus if you're, New York, California, or, Chicago, even. It's a different energy here. And, and obviously you've been recognized in many gospel circles. How does that background really influence your musical style? Because you mentioned you're multi-genre as far as what you love. So you have influences not only from the word, but from everywhere. How does that really influence your musical style?
So, to remain true to who I am, to sing from what I have been through. I can't force my beliefs or anything on anyone, right? But I can be present, and speaking of being present, I'm a momager of my daughter's career. Now she's an R&B hip hop artist, and I got a lot of backlash from that. But I'm a mom first.
Absolutely.
I'm a mom first. So I want to make sure that she's good in this industry because this industry is really cutthroat. It's not church.
It's not church. It's
not church.
There's that opposite. And that's one of the reasons we created this platform, because I just got tired of seeing the same story. All talented creatives that come in there with good intention and good purpose that want to create, and industry just juices them like a juicing machine.
Right.
Takes everything from them and leaves them broken and battered. And I wanted to make a safe space for people to share their story, inspire, get advice, make connections of people cut from the same cloth that,
Yeah.
love the art, love the music, love God, love creating. So, that's
Because we have so many broken people coming to
mm,
church,
yeah,
right? And we look at church, oh, this is not supposed to happen in this place, it's supposed to be better than this. But, it's a place where people gather.
yes,
And when you have people that gather, you have people from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds that you got to navigate as a leader through all of that paternal, maternal. You see what I'm saying? It's a
mm,
lot of stuff to navigate through. And I'm telling you, like it was so much that I had to not only carry my cross, but I had to carry the cross of others
yes,
that catch this, that lack accountability.
mm,
Because see, there is still an accountable part that we are responsible for. We
absolutely,
are accountable for our own lives. We're responsible for our own lives. But when we as leaders demand the accountability and responsibility for others, we got to make sure that the blood is not going to be on our hands.
yeah,
So yes, in this Bible Belt city, because it is that, we have a lot of church goers.
yes.
Okay. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
No, I have terrible eyesight, but I can read between the lines.
They're not kingdom, they're not kingdom transformed. They're not kingdom
Absolutely.
renewed.
They go there and they think that's just good enough. I pay my tithes, and that's just good enough. And it's,
Yeah.
I've heard some of the nastiest talk in a church, about other people, and I'm like, well, that's not godly,
My God, today.
it draws people away. And,
Yeah.
openness,
Yeah.
and realness to have that chat.
So we
Now,
have to be mindful of how we
yes,
present the gospel.
yes,
And
I,
because we're in this platform, it's a safe space. Like you said, it's a space between two people where we're having a dialogue and a monologue. I'm talking to you, you talking back. You see what I'm saying? And it's an accountability space.
absolutely,
You become my accountability partner
yeah,
that's making me accountable. I might not see you again another time. You see what I'm saying? But as long as our God encounter, and my goal was to meet you and make you better and
yes,
not meet you and make you worse.
yes. And that's internal. And I tell people, everybody has that one teacher or one
Yeah.
mentor or one whatever it may be, and they may have been only in your life for a season, but
Yeah.
they impacted you for the rest of your life, and
They
therefore
did.
you pass that on to another person who
Yeah.
passes it on to another person, and now
Mhm.
it's a tree that bears unlimited fruit. So
Right. Right.
it's
Right.
important. Now you mentioned the many hats you wear, and as a creator, as a podcaster, as a producer, as a mentor, as a friend, we all wear hats that we don't know. So I find accountability, and that's going to be our word of the day. But I also
Yeah.
find that wearing multiple hats for yourself. You mentioned your minister, singer, writer, momager, mother. It's
Grandmother, wife,
mother, wife,
co-worker, friend,
coworker, friend,
sister, daughter.
their daughter, you know,
Yeah.
granddaughter. It's so much on a human being. How do you manage that overlap and avoid burnout? Because I'm a big proprietor of mental health,
Thank
and
you so much for that.
in our community, we don't get enough attention. I call it
That
the ginger ale generation. Something's wrong, take a ginger ale and a nap. If that don't work, I don't know what to tell you. And for us, it makes broken homes, broken spirits, broken men, broken women, broken children. How do you avoid that burnout? Because it's so easy to
listen,
that
when
burn.
I tell you I went through a mental burnout and I did not know it. I not only do I have Jesus, but I have a therapist and a doctor, right? And not just Dr. Jesus, but I have a doctor.
Yeah.
So I have these three in one. You know, I have a therapist, somebody I had to talk to, because I was on the verge of a mental breakdown. I
Mm,
walked into my doctor and I thought I was talking. I mean, my mouth was opening, But she was like, no. So she took me out of work for 6 months and put me in a room, lights off. Like she said, I don't want you to think about nothing. Don't think about the church. Don't think about your family. Don't think about nothing right now. Just nothing. I was like, what am I don't so the sad part is I didn't know how to think outside of other things.
Right.
So that meant my mental just kept going on and on. It would never turn off. Even
Mm,
in my sleep was in overdrive.
mm,
My dreams were in overdrive. That's how much it was so much on my mental state that
yes.
I had to pull away from the brick and mortar building because I don't want to be leading while bleeding.
Mm,
I don't want to minister to others while I'm still broken. I don't want to get to that place. I want to be in a place where I'm healthy and able to communicate to my family. Because if I'm no good to them, then I'm no good to me.
absolutely. It's something my mother, and it was so simple, but it changed my life. And she told me one day, I went through a divorce and I was just mentally broke down, felt like a
Yeah.
failure. And she said, "You can't pour from an empty cup," and left me.
Mm,
And it was like it triggered something.
powerful.
And I was like, wow, that was simple, but it was ingenious. And I live my motto.
Oh my
I live my
God.
life through that motto. I tell people the power of no.
Thank your mother for that because that just freed me and it's gonna help. I'm gonna tell your mom I'm gonna use it and
You
I'm
can
gonna credit her one time.
Yeah, you can have it shared or just pay it forward. It's all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yes.
it
Wow.
made so much sense. She was like, You're trying to help every person on the street that wants something to drink, and your cup is empty. How?
Mm.
How you gonna pour from an empty cup?"
How you
And it
gonna
made
put
me say, "All right, it's okay. If I need to take a week off, if I need to take 2 weeks off, if I need to take a month off, if I need to take a year off, I'm going to do it until I get my cup replenished, so I can help others and follow on my journey." So I'm so glad you said that, and that you
that
know
was my 2 year tried in the fire where I
yes.
had to take that mental decompress. I had to really, think about that. Like, okay, I'm not gonna do nothing else. I'm gonna focus on one thing at a time. And of course, I was criticized when I just abruptly said, I'm moving. I'm not, we're moving our location. We're not going to be here. A lot of people was like, oh, God has blessed you with this. And how would you, do that? And I'm like, but you have to understand, I have to do, if I cannot lead and the vision is lost, what
Mm,
am I leading you to? Because
exactly.
he said, without a vision, the people perish.
Without a
So if
vision,
I don't have a vision, y'all perishing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can't have a map nowhere.
Can't have a map to nowhere.
It's got to be a destination. It
Gotta be a
got
destination.
to be. The GPS is
Yes.
not going to send you in circles. Now, please let the people know, because we want to make sure that they are able to just consume and absorb so much
Okay.
positivity that you're putting in the world. Please let the people know where they can find you on social media, and
Okay.
and what you're working on right now, because I want them to be able to just really uh, just be able to just absorb that in their spirit. So letting people know where they can find you on social media.
Okay, so you can follow me on Facebook at Alecia Garrick Ministries as well as Alecia Garrick. You can follow me on IG at Alecia Garrick Live, on TikTok, Dr. Alecia Garrick. Okay, and contact information if they want to, I guess, book or something to that, that effect. They can do that at Dr. Garrick 32 at gmail.com. Again, that's DRGARRICK at 32 at gmail.com. And also, if they want to contact me for booking, they can contact me on my business cell at 803-297-2821. Again, 803-297-2821. As far as what I'm working on in the now future, Of course, is mobile ministry. Mobile is, of course, online. They can follow me, on my page when I go live there. Also, we're going to be doing mobile baptism. So we have to, they can follow me on my page and get more information on that. So everything that, I'm not going to say the church is not doing, but the church that he has called me to do outside of the building, that's gonna be different. So they will have to follow me on social media to find that out. So again, if they want to book me, to come sing or come minister, um youth day, women's conference, whatever the case may be, I am available for that. I'm also available for some Sunday morning services as well.
Absolutely. We'll put the links all in the page so those who are watching and listening at home have ability to connect with you, because
Okay.
I could do this all day, because like really open something that's very important, and you're what you're doing, your calling of what you're doing, and listening to that calling is so important,
Yeah,
especially this generation, because this generation this is all they do.
that
Th-
that's
th-
it.
This is it. I've sat around dinner with young people, and everybody's got
Everybody's on their
their
phone.
face. I've been to concerts, and I'm like, how are you looking at the concert and you're so busy, you're not absorbing it? But it's a door that's been open that I don't see us going back
Yeah,
anytime soon. So we need people like you and saints like you that are able to cross those four walls and
yeah,
go out into the universe and reach so many more people. So I
right.
truly appreciate and admire what you're doing. I have one final question before I let
Okay.
you. I know you're busy this morning. If listeners could take one piece of encouragement from today's conversation, what would be your message to them?
I'm gonna have to go back to what we talked about previous, what your mom said. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I'm gonna, ask them to make sure they are doing self-reflections, having those moments, not self-reflections of depression. Because sometimes the longer you reflect on something, the longer you can deflect. Meaning that you'll start thinking of the negative things. I don't want you to think on these things. I want you to think on these things that are good, that's up, encouraging. And also those of those that may be being tried by fire now. Maybe it's not past tense, maybe it's current. If it's current, there's help out there. There's availability. You have to reach out to people, because a closed mouth don't get fed and a
Mm.
closed hand don't either. So mental health counselors, please reach out. As I said, I had Jesus, a therapist, and a doctor. Huh? And if I had to get on some medicine to get myself together, guess what? That's what I did. So again, allow yourself that time to process anything that you may be dealing with, and not only process it, but deal with it. Deal with it in your way. All right. And don't forget, download the single, Try It in the Fire. It's going to bless your life.
I can attest to that. It already has for me and my family. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. I hope it's not the last time. I've enjoyed this. I've got ideas, so hopefully we can connect
Okay. Okay.
in the near future. Once again, I love and admire what you're doing. Keep doing it to the highest level, like you've been doing it. Welcome to the D.E.N community. I'm gonna, as always, I add all of the members. We're more than a platform. D.E.N is an acronym. It stands for Dreams and Nightmares. And for me, always being a creative, when technology caught up to my ambition and I was able to build the community, and it's brought so much joy to my life and touch out to others, and it's something I love. So I hope I'm humbled, and I glad that we're here today and have this conversation. That will not be the last. And I will put you in we have a group chat where we have producers, musicians, directors, actor, anything in the industry that you need. So I consider myself the good plug. I don't sell
Look,
drugs,
you
but
you said something else that really got me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you off. So
I
the DEN stands for Dreams
end
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 Night.
nightmares. So we deep
I'm
out.
writing that down, Brother Sean. I'm telling you, I'm taking your little quotes.
Yeah, hey, that's what it's here for. We're not surface level. We onions. We got layers here. We're a blooming onion, as a matter of fact.
Come on, and I love them because they taste good.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? They get the heartburn. It's a couple times, and I'm right back in the game. So
That part.
Absolutely, I thank you so much, the good doctor, bringing us so much wisdom. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you again, humbled and grateful for sharing these words for you this morning. Please make sure that you go on however you consume music, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. Please make sure to download the music and brighten your life, enlighten and brighten. That's what we want to do. So guys, thank you.
Can I say something in closing?
Of course.
This is gonna be for your commercial. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was a pleasure to talk with Brother Sean, as I would call him, on Down in the Den. This has been an awesome therapeutic conversation. It's been very relaxing, very intriguing. So I want to give a shout out to Brother Sean, as I call him. That's the only name that I call him. But if you want to, you can call him that too. So thank you so much again, Brother Sean, for Down in the Den, Dreams in Nightmares. Yes, and guess what? My takeaway again, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Grace and peace.
Grace and peace. Well, yeah, that message. That's it. I'm not even gonna do the outro. I can't beat it. If you can't beat them, join them. So I'm thinking about that, guys. You know what I asked you to do? Hit that like button, leave us a comment, subscribe, and the word of the day, we always give a prize. The first person to comment the word is empty cup. The first person to comment empty cup in the comments, I will hit you in your DMs. We'll get you some merch, maybe a Down in the Den shirt, cup, mug. We got merch, so we'll get that to you. And good doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
I want me one of those merch too. I want those too. You can get with Dom.
I'm gonna make sure we get you. We got, like I said, we got shirts. Just tell us what you want. We'll get it sent out to you.
Thank you. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Well, guys, as we end every episode, it's all about peace, love, unity, and respect.
I love it.
Deuces.
All right. Peace.